Hello, and welcome back to Sproutlogic Gardening. My name's Mike, and today we'll continue our series on winter gardening. Now, I'm kind of chuckling saying winter gardening because right now where I'm at in Zone 7B, it is currently going to be 70 degrees today Fahrenheit, which is absolutely insane considering it's January 6th. So, I mean, typically this time of year we're experiencing freezing temperatures all the way down to probably low 30s, 20s. So it's extremely warm, more like a late spring day I would probably akin it to. But regardless of that, there are still things we can be doing when it comes to gardening in the winter. Today, specifically, what we'll be working on is setting up a new garden bed I'd gotten for Christmas, and that'll be the topic of this video. So I will cover a couple things that are mentioned in my first video, which if you haven't checked that out yet, it's what to do with your Christmas tree that's left over from the season. So that is helpful in this case when setting up a new garden bed, so make sure to check that out before we kind of dive into it. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's dive into the bed. Okay, so as I mentioned in my previous video, I did some hugelkultur, which I basically took my Christmas tree from this year, and I pruned all the way down the main trunk, chopped off the branches, and then cut it into smaller logs and placed it into my raised bed. So again, I highly recommend you check out that video, kind of walk through that process. You don't have to do this, but keep in mind if you use any kind of wood that is in your raised bed to reduce the amount of soil, which I do recommend, you typically want to go for wood that's older, brown wood. So something that's been sitting around for quite some time. This would be considered green wood, which means that it will initially absorb minerals and different things into it. So like nitrogen, stuff like that. So it'll suck it in at first. Out over time, it'll then release it. So it's important that we're using green wood, we're going to put down nutrients to prevent that from being completely absorbed so it's available for our plants immediately. But the way I also offset that was using some leaf litter, which I'll go ahead and put across the screen right now, basically what the bed looks like before I put the soil in. Now, keep in mind also, you don't need to use this process. You could fill the bed up with soil completely if you want. Truth be told, what I've found is it's much cheaper and beneficial to do it this way versus full soil, because a lot of times plants won't even use that complete depth of the bed unless it's something special or particular that requires a very deep taproot. So in this case, this bed is about, I believe it's actually 1.5 feet deep. So I basically put down a layer of wood and twigs and things like that and leaves, covering probably about 1/3 of the bottom layer. What I have here is a mix of raised bed soil and then compost manure. Again, I'm going a step further. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of those nutrients. I'm not going to be locked into the wood completely, so it's available for my plants during the springtime. Another thing I'll mention, of course, I'm not going to be planting anything right now. It is January, so frost is coming back probably within a couple days. Even though it's 70 today, tomorrow could be 32. So what I have in here is a mixture of compost, and then I also have a mixture of raised bed soil. And I have something else over here that I want to show you, which is going to be a mixture that I use of bone meal and then long-term fertilizer from Fox Farms. This is dry stuff you put in the soil and it's slow release. You want to go ahead and use this as well. Now, there is measurements you're supposed to use. I kind of just eyeball it. So this is a decent amount of soil. I'm probably putting in, I would estimate about a cup in here. I don't want to go too much because again, I'm using compost manure. So I don't want to go too much with that. That'll be a problem and that would burn the plants or damage seedlings and stuff. So we'll put about a cup in here. Now I did have some, where is it? I had some perlite around here somewhere that I want to put in. I'll add it in afterwards. So you do want to typically put perlite or something like that in there as well to help reduce increase the drainage and make sure that we're getting plenty of drainage when it comes to the soil. Now I'm hand mixing. You can use gloves. You can do it with your bare hands. Because I put manure in here, I'm going to choose to use gloves. Normally not a problem for me, but just to play it safe, you never know. Especially if you have open cuts or anything on your hands. You probably never want to be mixing soil or putting your hands in the soil if you have a cut or some sort of wound on your hand. The risk of infection could be relatively high when it comes to that. So again, just tossing the soil a little bit, making sure it's thoroughly mixed. And then we'll go ahead and we'll start loading it into the bed, which I'll show you right now. Okay, so we're going to be adding the soil now to this bed. The one thing you didn't actually see was I added the perlite to this mix. Got to make sure we got plenty of drainage. So yeah, let's get started. So in the bottom layer, like I mentioned, we have wood. That's a mixture of twigs and sticks from my Christmas tree, and then logs I broke down as well. And then I put a little bit of leaf litter. Now that's directly on top of that to kind of break it up. Again, if you're using green wood, you want to make sure you're adding those ingredients and materials that will help go ahead and make sure your things are being fed, because otherwise it'll all be sucked up by the wood. as it begins to decompose and to be released later on. My intention for this bed, of course, is going to be putting in roses. So I ordered some white roses, which will be arriving sometime probably March, and those will go ahead and be placed into the bed. And yeah, hopefully have a great season to start off with them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you now what the bed looks like once it's fully covered in soil. So we got the bed all wrapped up and ready to go. Now there is a liner in here to make sure that the soil doesn't fall through. This is a red cedar bed, and so it's rot resistant, moisture resistant. So this should last quite a few years if we take care of it. But that liner also prevents that soil from just dropping right through, and also make sure the drainage is maintained. So I fill it pretty close to the top. One important thing to note when you do this, it's going to settle, which is why I'm doing it now in January. Chances are when I come out here February, March to begin planting, I'm going to need to add more soil to it. So be prepared to do that. But luckily by doing this, I reduced the soil I had to use probably by half, if not more, which is great, and gives me more money to play around with buying seeds and stuff like that. So again, just wanted to cover with you guys what you can be doing in the winter versus nothing. There are certain things you can do, and of course I understand if it's snowing, ice, probably not going to be setting up a raised bed. That's okay. Hopefully this helps, and if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing if you like this kind of content, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Okay, so as I mentioned in my previous video, I did do a little hugel culture. Let me try that again. Okay, so as I mentioned in my previous video, I did actually do a little bit of hugel culture. No, hugel culture. So plenty of room for that, plenty of depth, and also